Hi, my name is Dr. Catherine Lopez Gonzalez. I'm the assistant professor in the business department at Calumet College of St. Joseph. I'm also the program director of our fast track program and an alum of Calumet College of St. Joseph. Well, first of all, we were able to secure some grant funds from the Department of Education, which we were able to improve this beautiful room. The business department here at Calumet College of St. Joseph has never technically had a home, and we felt as though, being one of the largest majors in the college, we felt as though a space to this magnitude needed to be improved. And we worked very hard last summer to create what is now called the Business and Entrepreneurship Center. Coming from a business background, so I have 30 years of banking experience and worked with many small businesses during my tenure at the bank. I wanted to inspire students to begin to start a business in entrepreneurship in a wide variety of industries, and I felt as though the pitch event was probably the best way to do that. They not only gained insight as far as coming up with an idea for their business, how to brand their business, they had to create a prototype, they also had to put together financials. So it gave them a very good, they were very well-rounded as far as what it takes to become a entrepreneur and go into business for themselves. Many students felt as though, those that I've talked with in the business major felt as though they wanted to own their own business at some point, whether it was directly out of college or pursuing it later down the road. And I wanted to give them a clear understanding of what it meant to start their own business. So we were able to bring in mentors, volunteers that volunteered their time, that were small business owners, that were in the real estate business, individuals that were in the lending business. And then we also brought in some different judges that had a diverse background in business. And all of the mentors or judges that really touched upon all components of the students' projects. They offered so many real life experiences that helped all of the group of students develop their idea. So it brought the real world experiences into the classroom. I do believe that many of the groups of students developed friendships and, again, a networking opportunity with all of these volunteers and mentors.
The hardest part of developing the plan was the financial documents we had to make, because it's really hard to know like how much money you plan on making and like how many people are gonna want to buy your product when you haven't actually made it yet. So Judith helped a lot with like making those estimates. The professionals definitely like critiqued the ideas. They weren't like rude about it, but they weren't just gonna like say, oh, everyone did a good job. They made sure you knew like what it was missing and why it wasn't a good idea and stuff. I kind of learned that, I guess, like, to sound generic, what I was capable of, because I thought this was going to be just kind of like any other project and we were going to like procrastinate, get it done last minute, but by the end it was like 34 pages, so the whole group really had to come together and work hard on this one. If I ever wanted to start my own business, it'd be a lot easier for sure. And then even if that's not the case, just like kind of overall how financials work and how you would request money to get a loan from a bank and stuff could help with any job I get. If you're taking the class, I know it seems like a lot and it's pretty scary, but by the end it's kind of fun, like actually pitching it Shark Tank style in front of people. So it's worth it. You just gotta tough out like the hard times of trying to fill out the documents and stuff.
Rehearsing, we had to rehearse like day in and day out of school, in school, researching for like the questions, any questions that they could have asked us during the pitch meeting or afterwards. It was really just a lot more like rehearsing, because we wanted to be solid when presenting the pitch to the judges. Okay, so the product, basically it was two different types of tapes. One was heat and one was cooling. So basically, if you were playing outside in the cold, you would put on the heating tape, whereas if it's super hot outside, you would put on the cooling tape. It could be used indoor, outdoor, anything used for like physical activities. Probably explaining what it is and what it does. You know, at first people are like, oh, well, it could just be like icy hot, for example. And they were like a little bit on the fence. But, you know, after we started explaining it to them, how it worked and what it does, they really started turning, you know, more onto a positive side and, you know, more like seeing it as in a good way. Like, oh, it's a good idea. I would say it's giving me like a totally different perspective on how a business would run, start, design, like the design thinking process. It's giving me like a whole different perspective on how you should start a business or run it. All the research that's put into it, getting ready for the pitch, if it becomes successful or not. It's just giving me a whole different perspective on how to really start your entrepreneurship journey.